So today I'm showing you a rig that I've been using with some success recently. It's a 3-hook Sheppey rig. What it is really is 3 small pulley rigs connected together. So get yourself some main line, and on the bottom of the main line tie on something for your lead, but it needs to have a hook on it, and this is an imp. And like I always do, uni knot. So you make a loop and come through 5 times. And I use a little knot puller to pull everything tight. And if you're making your own rigs, you've got to make the knots nice and tight. Like all the rigs that I make, you can choose whatever you want to go on it. So these pulleys, I just measure it up from my fingers to my armpit. That makes them about, what's that, 18 inches or something. So that's the lead clip. So pass on a bead. It's only a very small one. Pass on? That's not the word. Slip on a bead. Anyway, there it is. Now, slip on a swivel. This one's a 45 pounder. And slip on a bead. Another bead. So straight away you can see the similarity to an ordinary pulley look. So that would be your pulley bead at the top with your lead, and ordinarily we'd connect a swivel onto here, but what we're going to connect today is a cascade swivel. If you haven't seen these before, they're little swivels with a little keeper hook on them. But what you've got to do is make sure it's facing the right way. So the pulley is going to be like that. So you need that hook that way. So I'm going to connect it to the top bit. If you haven't got a knot puller, but you've got a gripper weight, you can use the leg of to help you. So there we go. So now it's time to put some amnesia on for the snood. So I go straight onto the other side of the cascade. And then the same as your normal pulleys, make your snood a bit shorter. Feed on a sequin and then tie your hook on. So there's the bottom pulley done. Actually, it's not quite done. So you need a stop knot on it, on the snood. So I've got some Paragon. So you just tie a stop knot 3 times round. And your sequin will slide up to that. And that will stop the bait rising up the line. So there's your first little pulley then. So your hook goes onto the imp. And the bead and the swivel will now come up the top. So, there it is. And the only difference being, instead of an ordinary swivel, we've got a cascade swivel. So for the next one, get your main line, and this time, instead of connect it to the lead, connect it to what was the pulley swivel on the first one. I don't know why, but lots of people say that this is a really fiddly rig to make. Now me, I'm not finding it I don't find it, should I say, I don't find it very difficult. So there you go. So we were now connected to the bottom pulley. So now measure that the same. Like I said, I only got to my armpit. Cut it off. Bead. Swivel. Bead. Cascade swivel. And you will get the cascade swivel upside down. I do it quite often. I made that tag end a bit short, so it's a bit difficult. But we got there. Wouldn't believe I put glasses on. So obviously these lengths of pulleys and snoods, that's all up to you. You can do what you like. That's what I love about making my own rigs. You can make them how you like them. Sorry about any noise you can hear in the background. Sharing the house with some other people. So make this snood a bit shorter than the main line. Connect the, what's that called? Sequin and the hook. You can see it's coming together quite quickly. Now, because we've put another cascade swivel on, it means we're going to stick another length above this. And anytime, you can make this as long as you like. You can have as many hooks as you like. I've done it with 3 hooks this time. But I've made it before with just 2 hooks on, because that makes it a bit smaller and a bit lighter to chuck out. So there you go. So that one is now complete. So when you connect it up, you connect the bottom one up to the imp, and this next one you connect the hook up to the cascade swivel on the bottom pulley. And now we've got another pulley here now, and you can see that leaves us a cascade swivel to connect the next hook on, and another mainline swivel. So same as before, £60 through the rig body swivel, as it were. There we go. Measure off your length for your last main line. Now this time, just looking around, instead of putting a couple of beads and a swivel, I've got a pulley bead thingy, because this is going to go onto the main line. I don't normally use these, but it was in the box And I just wanted to show you the difference when we come to the end. And this time, he says, looking for his box, instead of connecting the main line to a cascade, you just connect it to an ordinary swivel, because there's not going to be another hook above it now. So this is just like making an ordinary pulley on the top half. I just remembered. Didn't put my power gum on the second snood. I'll do that in a minute. You'll notice I'm not using my notch puller here because the swivel's too small for it. I have found sometimes it'll fit through and sometimes it won't. So now we go on with our last piece of amnesia for the last snood. You see what I mean? It's not really difficult to tie. It's no more fiddly than doing 3 pulleys together. And everybody says a pulley is one of the easiest rigs to make. So I don't know why they suddenly think this one is a difficult rig. As long as you remember your procedure of going through it. So there we go. And cut it off. Not as long as the main line. And yes, my terminology isn't right all the time for mainline snoods. I suppose it is, because it is 3 lots of mainline, isn't it? On each little pulley. And we're rapidly coming to the end now. Make sure you tie your stop knot above your sequin and not below the sequin. So I've done that before as well. Yeah, you probably gather. If you can make a mistake, I have. Hopefully not today. And while I've got the power gum out, let's tie one on the middle snood. Because if you're using blow lug or ragworm, it too easily goes up the hook line, even with these short snoods. This is my first time on using power gum. I normally just use main line and do a stop knot with it. So the power gum is a lot more expensive for a lot less. Obviously I don't know if it's worth the extra money yet. Like I've heard from other people, you do get a lot of wastage with it. I'm trying to make sure I don't waste too much. So there we go. Let's grab a weight. And let's now connect it all up. So the weight to the imp. I'm going to have to pull back a bit to drop it down on the floor as I Now obviously you can make these legs as long as you like, but if you make them too long, you're going to end up, well, should I say, the longer you make them, the longer your whole rig body is going to be. And if you have too many hooks or too much length on it, then it's going to make it longer for casting. So there's the first one. Now the next one connects to the cascade. There we go. And the last one the hook connects to the last cascade. I'm all fingers and thumbs. So that one connects to that one there. And there we have it. So you have that going onto your main line. There's your first one. There's your second one. And there's your last one. Now when that all hits the deck, what you end up with basically is a 3-hook flapper. It's worked really well for me recently. So I hope you found that instructional. And don't forget, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe.